Hey everyone, so this is my first YouTube video, so if it's not 100% smooth, I'm sorry about that. I will try to refine these as I'm going on. Okay, but what I thought I'd do is I would give you my outlook on the market, how I trade the markets, because I think this will be really helpful for you, for someone who's been trading here for quite a while and is very familiar and experienced trading crypto since about 2017. So I'll tell you the main trend of how I'm looking at this. Okay, what I'm seeing is I'm still seeing this particular downward trend as a smaller term downtrend or bear trend in still a larger uptrend. Okay, I would be looking still at this to be something like this. Okay, I'm not sure where this last wave comes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Time-wise, it's always pretty tricky. Anyone who tells you they can predict stuff with certain time horizons with a high degree of accuracy, I'd be very weary of that. Okay, so I would be looking at whether this is the low. I'm not exactly sure. I think for the short to medium term, I think we can get a move up, but the 4 I think will be somewhere between 30 to we might get a push lower down to maybe say 25, 27 in the 20s. I do not see anything below the 20s in my opinion, but I am happy to be proved wrong. But essentially, what I'm looking at is, look, we've got this weekly. Always zoom out, okay? Look, you want to have a look at the big time frames. Have a look at those first, okay? And then you want to zone in and zoom in on the smaller time frames to let you know what's happening there. But we're not getting any closes. We're getting big wicks, okay, down to the 30k region. And I was fairly adamant last week, and I was lucky enough to get some BTC here at 29,400, okay, as soon as this broke, because I think lows are there to be broken. Typically take out some stops, and you typically want to buy when things are like the most bearish. Okay, that's where the money is made. Okay, so yeah, so I'm looking at this to potentially move up. I'll tell you why. 30,000 floor support. Okay, pretty strong on the weekly. Okay, higher time frames give us more confirmation. Okay, and then I'm also looking at the whoops, not that one. I'm looking at the let me just get this up. The 21 EMA. Okay, so as some area that we haven't even really tested yet, so at least up to like the 40, 42k, I wouldn't be surprised. And then you've got your trend lines, okay, to give you some market structure at about somewhere around this region. But before that, we would want to break this. So if we get some sort of decisive break up here, okay, then great. I'll be looking us for basically to move into this space, okay, at least. Now, whether this is the trend that propels us higher, I'm not so sure about that, okay? We can just carry on being range bound. Maybe this is just some sort of accumulation. But maybe we go up to 47, back down to test the lows at 30 or dip slightly down below. But I think for the short to medium term, I do think that we can use this as a base to at least give us a 20-30% move, because I've seen very large moves like I was just circling over here when sentiment was so bearish, okay, and no one actually sort of believed anything was going to happen, all right, that we get this massive squeeze to the upside. Like I said, with regards to sentiment, extreme fear and greed at like an all-time low, pretty much I think is at like 10 last week. That is no time to be going short or selling, okay? So like I said, you don't want to be selling into selling out of positions out of fear and capitulation, okay? You want to be really selling into strength. That's the hardest thing to do, because you think the market's going to continue to go higher, and you want to buy when you're getting prices at a discount, okay? Obviously it depends on your time horizon, but the way that I do it, okay, is I have most of my money in my spot account, investment account, okay, which I just continue to accumulate, and I just ride all the way up to the top. Obviously, luckily, I was lucky enough to be in crypto somewhere around these areas, so I was able to experience these lower prices. But for me, anything, if it just goes lower, I just buy more. I have my levels. I was like, hey, if we break this, I'll buy a little bit more here. If it goes down below here, because I'm bullish on crypto, and I imagine all of you are. Otherwise, why are you in this space? Okay, so that's basically what I'm seeing. Okay, and then also if you look down, start drilling down a little bit lower. Okay, and you look at the actual volume on some of these sell sides, like here. Okay, this wasn't really that high volume. This is on Coinbase. Haven't had a look at some of the other exchanges, but you've got this big buy volume coming up here, and then here you're not getting the sell volume to match to break down and below into 27. And like I said, remember, when everyone thinks it's going to do one thing, okay, everyone's calling for 25, 22, 20k, some even below, okay, the market will always do the opposite, just like what it did up here. Everyone thought it was going to 65k, everyone, okay. I was on the fence. I was calling for a correction here, and then I was like, well, maybe this isn't going to happen. But I was sort of on the sidelines. So, yeah. So basically, that's how markets are designed, right? They're basically designed to shake you out, okay, down here, and then designed to make you just think that things are going to go on forever when you get to the tops. That's how they work, okay. So yeah, so I'm looking for a move into this space, whether that's the move that moves us up, could well be, or maybe we move back down, but I do think we will be range bound for the foreseeable future, and certainly no all-time highs this summer, I do not believe. And yeah, and another way that I'm playing these markets is I'm personally holding BTC. Actually 95% BTC I'm holding. So about a couple of weeks ago I put my alts into Bitcoin, because in my opinion, when we are in these bearish territories and bearish times, money is always typically better on average into Bitcoin, because if we move lower, we have the decreased volatility, okay, to the downside compared to all your other favorite altcoins. And if we move up, I still personally think that BTC will lead the market out, because that's what's happened in the past. So why should anything be any different? When things are really, really bullish and we're moving in a strong uptrend, altcoins are really good to hold, and they typically outperform Bitcoin. But at this moment in time, I would be holding majority Bitcoin, and then potentially looking to buy lower, to trade for some of the altcoins, because if you look at some of these alts, these do not look very strong. Okay, ETH's getting a little bit of a bounce versus Bitcoin, but overall, you look at a load of these coins, and I'm not seeing a lot of strength. To be quite honest with you, you look at XRP. The only one that's holding up really, really well, to be honest, is better than my expectations. It's actually ADA. ADA has been holding up really well, but again, like, I probably wouldn't be interested in buying ADA up in these regions. Maybe somewhere towards like the 2000s, down to this region, I might be interested in swapping some of my Bitcoin for alts. Otherwise, yeah, that's how I'm looking at the market. And then obviously you look at the BTC dominance, we are trending up. We're getting some resistance at the 48.5% level, but if we move up here, we can move up to the next level. So like I said, I really don't see any reason to be taking extra risk at the moment holding alts, but that's just how I am personally playing it. And yeah, so that's basically what I see for the short to medium term. Basically prices, my bias is some sort of move higher up towards 42, 47. My mind will change if we get any closes down towards the $30,000 region, and that's pretty much that. You've obviously got as well this sort of head and shoulders potentially forms. So if we do get a move to the downside, we could get a fairly swift move down, okay, but until that happens, that's not my primary outlook on the market. Okay, my outlook at the minute is to move higher, at least for the short to medium term. So like I said, we haven't even had any rallies yet. This rally from 30 to 40 is a pretty paltry dead cat bounce, even for Bitcoin standards. So like I said, let's see if we can get up to 47. That's what I'm looking to do. I trade with about 1 to 2% of my crypto holdings with actual day and weekly trading. Okay, so short to medium time frame properly trading, and then I spend the other part of my money just sitting in my spot wallet, and I accumulate when I get good prices, and I think I can add in with a bit more cash, because I never think that I am so smart that I will always beat the market. So you don't need to be taking those kind of risks. Okay, so that's pretty much that. And if you've got any questions or comments below, let me know. Hopefully this video was helpful, give you something to think about. That's how I'm looking at it. Keep it simple. Okay, at the minute we're range bound. I'm looking for a potential push up to 42, 47. Let's see how we react there, because then when we start to get to this supply zone up here, okay, so this is the supply zone, this is the demand zone for the time being. So yeah, let's see if we can get a move up there, and I'll catch you in the next one.